Coming up on Customer Tech Talks, I'm joined by Relativity, who are here to share how their product, RelativityOne, is going global, all with the help of Microsoft Azure. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Customer Tech Talks. I'm your host, Ben Walters, and this time I'm joined by the team from Relativity, who provides software for managing, searching, and acting on large volumes of data with their application RelativityOne. Before we jump into the interview, let's take a look at the video.
At Relativity, we make software to help users organize data, discover the truth, and act on it. We have a SaaS product called RelativityOne that manages large volumes of data and quickly identifies key issues when there's an internal investigation or litigation. We also make an AI-powered communication surveillance product called Relativity Trace, and that proactively detects regulatory misconduct like collusion, insider trading, and other non-compliant behavior.
We partner with Microsoft deeply in the Azure cloud platform and deliver our RelativityOne SaaS solution. It helps us to deliver RelativityOne all over the world and at any scale that our customers need us. I really love the fact that Relativity as a company is interested in solving the really complex and challenging, interesting problems.
So I'm here with Jacque Flaherty and Shamir Colloff from Relativity. Jacque, Shamir, thanks for taking the time with us today.
Thank you.
Our pleasure.
Now, your application, RelativityOne, focuses on helping businesses assess large collections of data for the purposes of litigation and investigation within the organization. This was originally built as an on-premises application. Can you share a little bit about what drove your move to the cloud?
Sure. So there's been a cloud transformation going on in the legal industry throughout the past few years. Largely, that's been driven by a proliferation of data, increases in things like advanced cybersecurity threats and the like. So there's been this building need for system availability, reliability, security, things like that are just no longer possible on premises. Plus, it's really getting expensive for our customers to manage all this infrastructure and maintain these systems when they're in the midst of all this growth. The interesting thing about today, though, is that over the last 18 months, there's been so much change. So every single one of us has changed the way that we live, the way that we work, the way that we communicate, and that has dramatically accelerated the problem. If you think about all the data that's creating, the conversations that are happening in different places, these are new data sources, new places for people to, and lawyers specifically, to have to collect evidence from. So everything's shifting under everyone's feet, and if we, the technologists, can make some technology decisions that are strategic and long-term, that's going to help our customers get in front of these forces and actually focus on the work that they need to do, finding the truth, pursuing justice, and actually what their customers are hiring them to do.
So I can't even imagine what goes into being able to assess these huge amounts of data. Shamir, do you think you could give us a quick demo of RelativityOne and how that works?
Sure, Ben. I have a walkthrough here, and let's talk about how you use Relativity to solve these problems.
Using Relativity to organize data, discover the truth, and act on it is fast and easy. You can filter by date here at the top, by custodian here on the right side, and by key term here on the left side. These filters can be combined together with visuals using built-in dashboards and analytics. From there, you can quickly preview documents here on the right side, which highlights the important terms or the reasons that you're seeing each document. As you click through the document list on the left side, the viewer will update, and it renders over 400 file types nearly instantly. Using the communication analysis tools, you can see who is talking to who and filter to only the emails that you care about with a few clicks. Then you can click into the document here on the right side to see more information. After reviewing it, you can mark the relevance of a document and collaborate with other case team members.
So really great to see some of the functionality there with RelativityOne. Now, one of the reasons you selected Azure as the service wasn't just because of the offerings you had there, but it was also because of its global availability. So Jackie, can you share a little bit about how this global availability of Azure is helping not only Relativity, but more importantly, RelativityOne be able to reach your customers around the world?
Yeah, definitely. So this is a project that Shamir and I have been working on a lot lately, and something that's really exciting to partner with Microsoft on, specifically knowing how many Azure regions are available for use. Lately, we've announced 3 different data centers that launched for a total of 14 different locations where RelativityOne is currently available around the world, and that makes us the most globally available eDiscovery software in the market. That's a massive opportunity for our customers because it means that they can put and keep data where it's meant to reside. And that might be for data privacy regions in a certain location. It might be because a client or a case has taken them into a country where they don't currently operate, or it's just an opportunity to expand their business into a new market.
That's super impressive, especially when we think about things like data sovereignty issues that a lot of organizations are coming to grips with recently as well. Now, no doubt there were some challenges along the way to getting this global rollout. Can you share what some of those challenges were?
Sure, Ben. I mean, when we think about where we're going to put RelativityOne around the world, we think about that deep partnership we talked about with Microsoft and thinking about where Azure regions are and also what services are available in each of those Azure regions, because RelativityOne is a cloud-enabled solution. So it uses a bunch of different kinds of technologies that are available in Azure. And we want to make sure to time where we're going, not only based on where our customers need us, but also based on where Microsoft and Azure are available for RelativityOne to deploy.
Now, I'm going to make a wild assumption here, and one we always like to make on Customer Tech Talks, is that working your way through those challenges always comes out with some great lessons at the other end. Could you share what some of those lessons learned are that you've made along the way and things you wish you'd known before you started this process?
Sure. Part of this process of becoming a SaaS solution is thinking about changing the way you deploy your software, right? You change from being a quarterly cut of the software through a regression environment and then a shrink wrap software that you can install on infrastructure to being a CI/CD, a constantly innovative, constantly delivered solution, which is updating all the time, which is great because customers get features sooner, they get what they need right away, it's a more secure way to deliver code. But as a result of that, you go from having a sort of stable release that you can think about installing over and over again to thinking about installing the latest and greatest, which may have never been stood up in a data center anywhere from scratch. And that's changed the way that we think about how we plan and deploy the actual operations of putting RelativityOne in a new data center. We've kind of adjusted our plans to take into account the fact that there's always new things happening on the RelativityOne side. And likewise, many of the times we're deploying RelativityOne, we're deploying it as one of the first customers in a Microsoft Azure data center in a region, which means that we partner closely with Microsoft on making sure that what we need is available and working as we expect it to. And I think that's something we sort of started to build into our project planning. And if we had done that from the outset, we might have saved ourselves a couple of headaches, but we're doing it now and going forward. So we're excited about having learned those lessons and incorporating them for ourselves.
So some really great lessons to learn from there and great insights for other customers who are looking to roll their own solutions out around the globe as well and really taking advantage of the services available in Azure. Jackie, Shamir, thank you so much for taking the time today to share your story and tell us all about RelativityOne.
Thank you, Ben.
It was a pleasure. Thanks, Ben.
Now, if you want to learn more about Relativity and the services they offer, you can follow the links on screen to their website. Of course, if you want to learn more about building your own solution, you can head over to Microsoft Learn for all the free training and resources to get started. With modules covering everything from the fundamentals of Azure through to developing augmented reality experiences with HoloLens, certification guidance, and even live interactive shows on Learn TV. Microsoft Learn will help you arrive at your goals faster, with more confidence, and at your own pace. Of course, if you have your own story you'd like featured on an upcoming episode, you can reach out to us at cttalk@microsoft.com to get started. Also, don't forget to follow us on LinkedIn and Twitter so that you can catch all of the latest episodes and updates. Thanks for watching, and we look forward to seeing you on the next Customer Tech Talks.